Greetings, YouTube. Some of you might remember in one of my bargain videos, I bought this balance board. If you look at it this way, it looks like a little face smiling at you, which is moderately strange for my wife, but it's way, way too stable for her needs. But it was $2. So, my goal here is to remove all of the undersection of this, the two nude boards and two blue boards, and then to take these two boards, put them together in the middle so that it will then be able to be balanced both in that direction as well as this direction. The two blue boards will be completely eliminated. We will see how that goes, and if it works for my wife, fine. There's the possibility that I may have to put a lip on it, and if I do that, I will probably use part of the blue board to do that. Strip out, maybe cut out some sections here, so that I can then put them on the ends. But she may not want that. I said we don't know yet. So I actually have to do this project first, and then see how much balance assistance she may need. So the first thing I'm going to do is to remove these 4 screws, and then we'll get on to the next step, which is going to be separating this. And I don't know how it's attached because it's blind. So this could be simple, it could just be stapled in place, it could be doweled in place, I'm not sure what it is. We're going to have to find that out. So the first step is to take off those 4 screws and then look at the situation a little closer. Greetings, YouTube! So, the top has been removed, and apparently these were glued as well as screwed at one point in the past. The glue did nothing because the top just popped off as soon as I took that off. See, you can see the glue residue on the inside of this board. Now, in the process of removing that, I discovered that they actually drilled these holes straight down when this was lying flat like this. So these holes actually go this way. They don't follow the arc of the board, which I haven't decided if that makes my job more or less difficult. I don't know yet. We're going to find that out. But because of the way this is laid out, I'm going to be able to draw a line between these two holes, and then take the measurements I'm going to need once I get these together, and then I can measure the hole-to-hole distance, and then drill the 2 holes here and drill the 2 holes there that I need that will let me may do this. And I may just do this by hand with a hand drill, because I only need to do 4 holes, and I really want them to be under a lot of control, because I'm going to need to make sure I don't go in too far, because these screws have nice square bottoms which are designed to pull everything together. They don't have fluted bottoms. This is actually a shape of head you see a lot of the time on pocket screws, and you also see it a lot of the time on machine screws, which obviously don't have wood tips. But these wood tips are not really all that tippy, to tell you the truth. They're almost like machine screws. They're almost squarish. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of weird. But it doesn't really matter because I'm going back into the same holes that already exist, so I'm not having to worry about cutting new holes or new threads. The threads are already there. So, and this is actually not wood. I mean, it is wood, but it's particle board. Actually, it's MDF. So I don't know if that is good or bad. The next task is going to be to try prying this apart. Get a pry bar out and see if I can. I may just give it a whack and see what happens. Take a mallet and whack the inside of this and see what result I get. Who knows? Might just solve my problem real quick. So I've got them separated. I'm actually impressed with the degree of construction here. They actually used decent sized dowels and glued them in place. And some of them came out complete. They came right out. Some of them didn't. For some reason, this end of the didn't come out as well. So these 2 I had to tear out essentially, and this one I did as well. Then I used my chisel to kind of make them flush. It's not perfectly flush, but it's good enough at the moment. Because remember, all I'm doing is going to make them do this, like that. And then I'm going to drill holes. Whoops! Drill holes here. Now that I can get those together, and I can clamp them together and get a decent spacing, I'm probably going to scrape off the rest of this glue and such too, so they sit flat. But now I'm going to put them get together and then leave them together so that the spacing is correct, and I can then drill the holes. Because this spacing here looks like it's going to be slightly different than the spacing on that end. These, yeah, both of these. That one's in the middle, and that one isn't. And that one is slightly off-center, and that one is more than slightly off-centered. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to be making custom measurement. So I'm going to have to figure out what the middle is, and then come off the middle X amount, and come off the middle Y amount for the two holes. It's going to be a pain in the butt. That's what I get. That's why it's a hobby, folks. This is why it's a challenge. Crafting at its mediocre. Alright, we're at the marking stage. I clamped these two together so they would not move on me while I was measuring them. I used a my little square here and a 12-inch ruler to help me make the measurements. And I don't know if you could see that or not. It's kind of glary in here. Yeah, you can just barely see it. I've marked 2 holes with my handy dandy awl. I love this thing. I can't remember where the heck I picked it up. It's my favorite awl. Pencil, awl, square, awesome handheld tools. And this is a bit designed to drill a hole and then do a countersink at the same time. So you're in a hurry, you can do both at the same time. And I'm going to use this in my my drill here, my little hand drill. So I don't even need to do 4 holes. I ain't like breaking out my power drill and all that for 4 holes. And I'm going to be putting this on the floor. And I'll use the 2 blue boards to lift it off the floor, so I won't have a chance of going through it. And the reason I'm going to do it on the floor, I'm actually going to set it up right here, I think, or actually right here, because that way I have something to push against. Because I really have a way to clamp this conveniently because it's arced, so it has an arch. If I try to clamp it vertically, I'm afraid I'm just going to squeeze it out, so that will be a major hassle. I'll just get something heavy and put something heavy on top of this and hold it in place while I'm drilling, and that way I don't have to worry about it moving on me. So the combination of the wall and the heavy object will hold it, but it's definitely going to mean that when I'm done I'm going to have to vacuum. I wouldn't be surprised about that. I have to vacuum after a lot of projects I do. It's amazing. Okay, now I'm going to go find something heavy. Okay, here we have my high-tech setup. As I said, I used the 2 pieces of scrap board I have as spacers. I used a 20-pound handbell to hold the thing down. And I just knelt on the floor and I drilled 2 holes on each side with my hand drill. So now it's to reassemble it and see what it looks like. Alright, here is the finished project. Now I ended up actually having to break out square drive screws. So I discovered that these were just going in a little too difficultly because the hole I drilled with this bit on my drill was a little smaller. And not to mention I'm not a big fan of Phillips heads anyway. I prefer square drive or star drive. And so I broke out my star drive and I had to get this bit set out because it had the square drive bit I needed. And I got out this driver set, that one, because it had the T-handle I wanted, because I prefer using a T-handle if I can, if I've got space. And at the moment, I got lots of space. So using a T-handle gives you far more torque. So here you have it now. It still goes in that direction the same, but it's a whole lot chippier in this. If you're not touching it, it will balance because it's that wide. And I'm going to give this a try myself. I'm not going to film that because it'll be dangerous. I'll be holding a door frame because I have a horrible sense of balance. And that was before I got neuropathy. Now with neuropathy, my balance is absolute crap. I have no balance whatsoever. I can stumble walking on a flat surface. So next step is going to have my wife try this and see if she likes it. And again, it's a $2 investment in, less than an hour of my time for the whole thing. And that includes filming this thing. So it's definitely worth my effort to try this. So that's the next step. Have my wife give it a try. Here we go. Alright, here's the attempt to get this to actually be used. Take it away. Now the goal here is to practice her balance because she wants to use stand-up paddle boards and skateboards. So, tippy enough or not tippy enough?
Well, I think tippy enough because, I mean, it definitely takes muscle control to keep it in the middle. And this is also a good hip strengthening exercise.
Cool. So apparently the modification to the child's balancing toy has been successful.
I can feel it pulling my kneecap.
Any parting words? All right. No parting words. Yoo-hoo!